and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
This is the greatest show! And now, here's your host, Clint Arthur.
All right, this is Clint Arthur coming to you live from 77 WABC Radio in New York City with the greatest show of all time. And if you are an author, a speaker, a coach, an expert, consultant, advisor, anybody who makes dineros, I think that dinero, is that the Spanish section?
That's the Spanish
dinero section. From selling what you know, your knowledge, your expertise, your perspective, then this is the home for you, because this is all about how you can be more, do more, and have more impact, influence, and income. Yeah. And this is a special episode of the show. I've got some of my great friends coming in to talk about how this is working for them. And I want to start off really with the smartest guy I know when it comes to technology and cybersecurity. He's a good-looking young man, very good-looking young man.
So without the beard.
Well, especially with the beard, but even without the beard, a very good-looking young man with a super beautiful wife who shares my exact birthday. Will Nobles, thank you so much for joining me here in studio for the greatest show of all time.
Thanks for having me, sir.
Hey, man, what is cybersecurity and technology doing for you these days?
You know, it's crazy how cybersecurity has changed so much. But one of the biggest things is in IT, we have to wear so many different hats. And one of the things that I had to do one time, a prospect called me and said, "Hey, Will, I think I want you guys to take over our IT." And I said, "Sure." I went in, met with them. It was a doctor's office, and met with them, and they called me back and said, "You know what? We want you to take over. But first, before you take over, I want you to come in and introduce yourself." And I said, "Yeah, sure. That's not a problem. I can introduce myself." And they were like, "Well, no, but we want you to come in as an intern radiologist to sneak in to reset the passwords from our IT." So they had one IT shop, doing their IT for them. Well, of course, I'm like, sure, why not? I wear all kinds of costumes, right? So I went
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. So I went in and I actually put on a lab coat, and they introduced me as an intern radiologist from Emory University. I had no clue, and still I know a little bit more today than I did then about radiology. Well, I go in, I sat down, they introduced me as the intern. I was hoping to God they were not going to ask me any questions.
It reminds me of the episode on Frasier when they're trying to fix up Roz with a doctor, and they bring the meat slicer from the deli in, and she says, "What kind of doctor are you?" He goes, "I'm a doctor of brainiology."
Yeah, well, that's about the doctor I was as brainiology that day. So I go in, I look at all their systems. I snuck into the server room. I put a back-end password in, set us up to take over. That next Friday we came in. And when I came in that following Friday, they were like, "I thought you were an intern radiologist." "No, I'm your IT guy."
Nice.
So it's amazing how quickly you have to put on those different outfits on what you're trying to do. And in IT, we had to do that.
How long have you been an entrepreneur?
12 years now.
You got to do what you got to do as an entrepreneur. That's for sure. And what is it like? Why do people hire you?
People hire us because we are one family-oriented company. Even though we have 5 locations across the country, we are very, very family-oriented. We are all certified on what we do, and we care about what your outcome is for your company. Our goals are aligned. Where in some ITs, break fix, what we call break fixes, I'm going to bill you if you call me and I fix something for you, versus where managed services, where our goals are aligned, is you don't want things to break. We don't want things to break. So our goals are aligned at that point. So that's why people choose us.
Right on. And my main thing, look, I saw you speak yesterday at the New York Academy of Medicine. You work in so many different industries. Where do you really think your strong point is?
I think healthcare, because when I actually started out in IT, it was in the hospital system. And so with HIPAA, meaningful use, and all the things that's covering around that, especially now with telemedicine, we're the company to go to.
Amen. And why telemedicine? Like, why is that so appropriate for what you're doing?
Well, look where we're at in 2020 with the pandemic going on. Everybody is trying to work from home, and even the medicine is trying to get out there and be virtual. And that's one of the things. And it's so risk of being at home trying to take care of your technology from home and your company intellectual data. You've got to protect that.
Now, how did your wife get to be so smart about technology? Because this chick, aside from sharing my birthday and being gorgeous, she also knows everything about technology. How is that possible?
Millennial. Just one word.
Yeah, she grew up with an iPad in her hand. All right. Well, I love Logan. I love you, and I really appreciate you coming back. I want to continue having you back here because you know so much, and we need to really delve deeper into the mind of Will Nobles and figure out all of the ways that he can be of help to all of the people. Tell people how they can find out more information about you and how you can help them.
You can look me up at vectorchoice.com.
Vectorchoice.com. There he is. Mr. Will Nobles, thank you so much for joining me on the greatest show of all time.
Thank you, sir.
All right.